Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Kalibak from the Darkseid War. This is one of McFarlane's Megafigures. He's in the newest wave. It's him and Fulcrum. I got this figure from Target.com. He was in stock, free shipping by himself. Very nice. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, ages 12 plus, DC Multiverse Kalibak. Here he is in the package. It's him. Then he also has his weapon, a little club of sorts. Looks like a display stand and a collector's card. One side of the package, Kalibak from the Darkseid War. Other side simply says Kalibak. At the bottom, got a bunch of credits, and there is his barcode, if that helps anybody. And at the back side, here's Kalibak. Now, Target put this really annoying sticker on here. If you're an inbox collector, that is so annoying. Usually you can peel them off. I'm opening this guy, so it doesn't really bother me. So, no further ado, let's open him up. Alright. Now look at this figure out of the package. Here he is with all his accessories laid out. Display stand, collector's card, and Kalibak's signature weapon, his club. But before we take a look at those, let's talk about and check out the actual figure. So this is Kalibak, Darkseid's oldest son. He's a big brute. He is merciless. His brother's Orion. Now, look at this guy. This is exactly what I want McFarlane to make. This is Kalibak in his sort of classic look. Well, he's not really classic because this is from a modern version, but I guess the word is iconic. He's in his normal, modern, iconic look, and that is the type of figures I want McFarlane to make more of. Yes, I enjoyed the movie stuff and the Dark Knight's Metal stuff, but I really wish it would cover the basic versions first. That being said, this figure looked great. He's giant, he's massive, so let's take a look at him. Starting with his face here, I always kind of thought he had, I don't know, kind of a pig look to him. I guess it's because of the color of his skin. He looks kind of like a wolf, very hairy, pointed ears. He's got a nose ring there. You can see his fangs coming out. I don't know, kind of makes me think of tusks. I always thought of him as pig-like for some reason, even though it's not really accurate. Green suit, gold sash. Looks like torso is one solid piece. Single jointed elbows, single jointed knees. Articulation looks a little bit limited. The figure looks fantastic. Look at the texturing on his, I don't know, skirt type thing, whatever that's called. He's got armor on one shoulder. Kind of makes me think of Roman gladiator style. He looks good. I see some paint splotches here with the green onto his skin. It's a little bit disappointing. Not a big deal though. You can see, I don't know, it looks like he has two toes. I like him. I like him a lot. Going to be a nice addition to my Darkseid shelf. And just a closer look at his face and head sculpt. Honestly, it looks great. Now let's take a look at his accessories. Let's start off with the display stand. Here it is. We've seen this time and time again. Black perfect circle. It says DC on the bottom. It's got one peg for the pegals on his feet. Now Kalibak has giant flat feet. He does not need a display stand by any stretch of the imagination. It's very thin, very basic. Now for his collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of Kalibak from the comics. Kalibak from the Darkseid War. On the back, there is a description. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause now. Do find it interesting, talking about him readying the Chaos Cannon that was powered by the Chaos Shard and Damian Wayne's dead body. The Darkseid War. There were a lot of weird things going on there. That was when Batman donned the Hellbat suit to get Damian Wayne's body back. Now for his club. Kalibak is often seen with this sort of bronze or copper club. It's got spikes here like brass knuckles, place you can hold it. Here's Kalibak holding his club. Now it is literally impossible to put this into his hand without using boiling water. His hand is really tight and you cannot stretch it apart. So, a little bit annoying, but it looks good when you get it in there. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height, and he's a big boy. From bottom to the top of his head, he's staying at about 9.2 inches tall, which can translate to a little bit over 23 centimeters. Now for his articulation. Starting with his head here, of course, it can rotate from side to side. He can look up and down about that far, not bad. He can tilt his head a little bit from side to side. Shoulders on a ball joint. Goes at a good 90 degrees, up, down, around, all that good stuff. No butterfly joint. Torso's tight enough to cover that gap. Single jointed elbow goes in just about 90 degrees with rotation. His wrist can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. Torso, one solid piece. Ball joint his waist, rotate around, forward and back. Legs, does the splits. Not exactly ball joints, kind of a larger version of the McFarlane style hip joints. They go forward, really not very much. Back, not too much either. Single jointed knee with rotation. Then his ankle here, forward and back. Tilt rock. Looks like no real rotation, you get that in the knee. And he also has toe articulation. The thigh rotation, it's not too bad, pretty good. For this next scene, let's switch to another setting. Here's the Super 7 Snake Mountain playset. I usually use this as a background for Apocalypse, among other things. Here's Kalibak, just chilling in Apocalypse. And here's a closer look at Kalibak, holding his club. Here's Darkseid yelling at Kalibak, always blaming him for everything, Kalibak messing up. Kalibak always trying to get Darkseid's approval, never actually achieving it. In comes his daughter Grail to see what all the commotion is about. I was trying to think of what other New Gods type figures I might have to add to the display with Kalibak and Darkseid. Here's a Mattel comic Darkseid to add to the mix. And let's add in a Mattel DC Universe Classics comic Orion. And if you want to mix and match, this is the only Steppenwolf that I have from the movie universe. Well, I actually have a couple of them from the movie universe, but this is the best one so far. Here's my New Gods Darkseid sort of family. Dysfunctional, that's for sure. And if we're going to be on Apocalypse, you gotta have some parademons. Here are 30 6-inch scale parademons from the DC Cinematic Universe Justice League. Enter the Justice League. Here's the Justice League taking on Darkseid and his army on his evil planet Apocalypse. A closer look at Superman using his heat vision. Aquaman stabbing 2 parademons at the same time. Wonder Woman following suit and filleting a parademon. Batman taking no nonsense, going to disable and disarm this parademon. Flash running around and supporting the other heroes. And Hal Jordan here, using his lantern ring, taking on parademons, working their way toward Darkseid. The heroes advance. They take on Darkseid himself. The fight does not go well for our heroes. Insert Orion to save the day and overthrow his father. Now let's check them out. Next to some other action figures. Starting off with some other New Gods figures. I don't have any other Kalibak figures, but the Mattel version is pretty cool. Here's Kalibak next to all my different Darkseid figures by both McFarlane and DC Direct. And they really need to make a comic Megafigure Darkseid, both modern and classic. Then, with a couple of versions of Steppenwolf by McFarlane and Mattel, and with a Mattel Darkseid. Then, next to a DC Direct Grail, Darkseid's daughter. And now, next to a Mattel Orion, Darkseid's other son. I believe these two were swapped at birth. Now let's check him out, next to some other McFarlane DC Mega figures. But first, here he is next to Darkseid. Darkseid is Kalibak's father. I would love it if they would give us a Mega figure Darkseid from the comics. He'd have to be a little bit bigger than Kalibak, but he doesn't have to be a crazy giant. Here's Kalibak, next to McFarlane's Steppenwolf and both versions of Darkseid. This was the first wave of Mega figures McFarlane made, and these were based off Zack Snyder's Justice League. The next Mega figure they made was King Shark from the Suicide Squad. He was a Walmart exclusive gold label figure. Next, they made Swamp Thing, and he had 3 different variants. After that, they made Clayface from the comics, and Titan Joker from the video games. Then came Man-Bat from the comics, and Killer Croc from the video games. And after that, they made both Bane and Necron. And they made a couple of Mega figures from the Black Adam movie, Atom Smasher and Sabak. Here's Kalibak, next to the Page Puncher Mega figure Gorilla Grodd. And finally, the 2 previous Mega figures they released, Mongol and Frankenstein. Now this new wave, it's Kalibak and then Fulcrum, which is sort of a Megazord type Justice League suit. That one I don't have yet, but it's supposed to arrive tomorrow for the McFarlane Toy Store, although looking at tracking, it's probably going to be the day after. Here are all of the McFarlane DC Multiverse Mega figures they've made so far. Need to get that Fulcrum, but he should be here in the next day or 2. The Mega figures are expensive, but they are absolutely awesome. It's been almost a home run every time with these Mega figures. Now let's check them out. next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to the Ka Rainer Blue Lantern. This is McFarlane Toy Store exclusive. And here he is, next to the Dark Knight Trilogy wave, collective build Bane from the Dark Knight Rises. Then, next to the Kingdom Come Armored Batman, and the Dark Knight's Metal Gladiator Batman. And now, with the Duke Thomas Signal, Con-El Superboy, and both versions of the Jay Garrick Flash. Here's Kalibak, next to most recent Batman wave. We have the Nightfall Catwoman, Hush Batman, both versions of Mr. Freeze, and the Infinite Frontier Joker. And here he is, next to the Walmart exclusive gold label Vampire Batman and Eradicator, still trying to track down the Vampire Joker and Beast Boy. Then, with the Target exclusive gold label Deadman and Flashpoint Aquaman. And now, next to the Shazam 2 movie Shazam and the Amazon exclusive Tim Drake Robin. Here's Kalibak, next to the Amazon exclusive Batman Family 5-pack. And here he is, next to most recent DC Gaming wave. We have the Arkham City Sick Joker and the Arkham Knight Red Hood and Scarecrow. Then, next to McFarlane's Mortal Kombat 11 DC offerings, the Batman Who Laughs, and both versions of Joker. And now, next to McFarlane Toy Store exclusive Hush Superman and Rebirth Kid Flash. Now let's check him out, next to some other recent McFarlane Build-A-Figure waves. Here he is, next to the Target exclusive Crime Syndicate wave, collective build Starro the Conqueror. And here he is, next to the Speed Metal wave, collective build The Darkest Night. Then, next to the Batman Arkham City wave, collective build an undersized Solomon Grundy. And here he is, next to the Walmart exclusive gold label Black and Gray variants. Now let's check him out, next to some Page Punchers. Here he is, next to the third wave of Page Punchers. This is a Flash themed wave. We have Flash, the Atom, Heatwave, Gorilla Grodd, and both versions of Captain Cold. And here he is, with the second wave of Page Punchers. This is based off Injustice 2, Dr. Fate, Supergirl, Batman, and Green Arrow. And finally, next to the first wave of Page Punchers, this is a Black Adam wave, Batman, Constantine, Superman, and Black Adam. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, to see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane toy, they're typically the 7-inch scale, and even though this guy is 9.2 inches tall, he is part of the 7-inch scale line. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work my way smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. Then, next to some more McFarlane Toys. These are from different various video game properties. And now, next to some Jack-specific wrestling figures. Here's Kalibak, next to a small fire extinguisher that stays in our laundry room. And here he is, next to some DST, or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here he is, standing with some NECA figures. Then, with some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, with some Jazzwares AEW wrestlers. And here he is, next to some Mezco 112 collective figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here he is, next to some Mayfix figures. Then, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, he's a pretty nice figure. The McFarlane Mega figures are always fantastic. This guy's sculpt and paint job are excellent. His accessory's nice, but it sucks you have to heat up his hand to put it in there. His articulation is a little bit limited, but that's pretty standard on the larger, bulkier figures. If I were to rate this guy, I'm going to give him a 7.5 out of 10. If his articulation was a little bit better, his accessory was easier to put into his hand, he'd easily get an 8 out of 10, if not maybe an 8.5. It is a very nice figure. It's a nice, normal, iconic, modern-looking version of Kalibak. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.